Have you ever just marveled at BTS leader RM's English fluency? It almost seems effortless, right? Like magic.
Totally.
And you hear the stories, especially that big one about a certain sitcom. It was all thanks to friends.
Yeah.
But is that the whole story? What's the real deep dive here? How did he actually get that good?
Right. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. We've got a whole stack of sources, Reddit threads, K-pop news sites, interviews RM himself has given, and we're going to really unpack his unique English learning journey.
Okay.
The mission really is to get past just the popular story. We want to pull out the practical bits, the surprising facts, and figure out how RM became this, well, linguistic powerhouse.
Yeah, this sounds like it's for anyone curious about learning languages,
Yeah.
or just dedication, really.
Exactly. It's about consistency.
So let's start where everyone else does. The friend story. It's almost legendary. What did RM actually say about that? How did he use it?
Okay, yeah, he's talked about it quite a bit, actually, even on big shows like Ellen. He said when he was maybe 14 or 15, his mother got him the DVDs. All 10 seasons.
Wow, all of them?
Yep. And he kind of joked it was like a syndrome for all the Korean parents to make their kids watch Friends. But his method, this is the key part, it was specific.
How so?
First, he watched with Korean subtitles. Then he watched again with English subtitles. And then finally with no subtitles at all.
Ah, okay, a step-by-step thing.
Precisely. He even said he felt like a victim back then, but now, he sees he was the lucky one because his mom pushed him.
So definitely not just having it on in the background then. That sounds way more intentional.
Not at all. It was structured immersion, really. He's even said Chandler is his favorite character, which is kind of fun.
Okay.
But what's really telling is that other members, like Jin and Suga, they apparently watched Friends too, but didn't get the same fluency level.
Good point.
Which strongly suggests, there was more going on with RM than just the show itself. It was that active, progressive engagement, moving from support to full immersion. That's key for self-learning.
That really is a crucial difference. Okay, so that sets the stage. But was Friends the only thing? Or is there more to how he built those skills?
This is where it gets really interesting. Because Friends was definitely significant, yeah, but the sources all point to it being just one piece of the puzzle, a big piece, maybe, but not the only one.
Okay, like what else?
Well, for starters, he had formal English classes way back in elementary school, from third grade, apparently, and he likely went to English Hagwons, too.
Hagwons.
Yeah, those are the private after-school academies. They're super common in South Korea for language learning and other subjects.
Gotcha. So a mix of school and like extra tutoring.
Exactly, a blend of formal and informal. And then there's the New Zealand trip. He studied there for about 4 months when he was 12.
4 months at 12.
Yeah.
That's pretty significant early immersion.
Definitely. And beyond that, something else really shaped his English. His love for hip-hop. American hip-hop, specifically.
Oh, interesting. How did that help?
Well, listening to rappers didn't just expand his vocabulary. It influenced his pronunciation, his flow, his cadence. He even picked up some African-American vernacular English elements. He wasn't just learning words, he was absorbing the sound and rhythm of the language.
That's a whole different layer of immersion, more cultural, almost artistic. You also mentioned he did well in school generally.
Yeah, he was apparently a top student across the board, and sources mention he took international English tests pretty early on. Those require solid grammar, stuff you don't usually get just from watching TV or listening to music.
Right, like actual structural knowledge.
Exactly. And of course, people often bring up his IQ, which is reportedly 148. That likely helped him process and learn quickly. But the consensus seems to be that his intelligence amplified his effort. It didn't replace it. So, yeah, no single magic bullet. It was this comprehensive, really intentional process, much more than just binge watching Friends.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So with all these methods, school, friends, New Zealand, hip hop, studying, how good did his English actually get? Like, did he take any tests later on that show his level?
He absolutely did. When he was 15, he took the TEP-S exam. That's the test of English proficiency developed in Korea. He scored 797 out of 990.
Wow, at 15.
Yeah, which put him in class 2 plus science. His listening skills were apparently particularly strong even then. And around the same time, this was back in 2010, he took the TOEC.
Okay, I've heard of that one. Test of English for International Communication.
That's the one. He scored 850 out of 990. Again, near perfect listening score.
Those are seriously high scores for a teenager, especially
Yeah.
compared to the average. What do you think explains that early success? Was it just the combination of methods?
It seems like it. The early start, the immersion, the formal study, the self-study with media, it all came together. But here's what's maybe even more remarkable.
Go on.
A decade later, in 2020, he apparently retook the TOEIC just for fun, he said.
The fun.
And he scored even higher, 915 out of 990.
Get out. 915.
Yep. And just for context, the average score in South Korea is around 675. Worldwide, it's closer to 500.
That's incredible. Retaking it for fun and acing it even harder. That really says something about his commitment.
It really does. It shows this wasn't just about passing a test back then. It's about continuous engagement, maintaining mastery.
Okay, so he clearly nailed the exams.
Yeah.
But translating that to real-world conversation, leading interviews, translating for the other members, that's another level. And language skills can fade, right? Especially if it's not your first language.
Yeah.
How does he keep it so sharp?
That's a really important point. And RM himself talks about this. He stresses that he has to keep studying, keep using English, otherwise the skills fade.
He actually said that.
Yeah. He admitted that if he doesn't use it for even like a month, he feels his proficiency drop significantly. He even mentioned struggling to have a smooth chat with Halsey once because he'd been out of practice.
Wow. Okay, that's actually kind of comforting to hear, in a way, even for someone that fluent.
Right. It really shows that fluency isn't some endpoint you reach and then you're done. It's like a muscle, you know? You got to keep working it.
Keep flexing it.
Exactly. He believes that unless you've actually lived abroad long term and use it daily, it's easy to forget. But his role in BTS,
Yeah.
being the main English speaker, always doing interviews, translating, that gives him this intense built-in daily practice, even if, it must add a lot of pressure.
Oh, for sure. But it underscores that it's about consistent effort, not just some innate gift.
Absolutely.
So beyond just knowing the words and grammar, what about how he speaks? People rave about his accent, his conversational flow. What makes his spoken English stand out so much?
This is maybe one of the most fascinating parts. Some people call it his chameleon effect.
Chameleon effect. What's that?
He seems to have this almost subconscious ability to slightly shift his accent and pronunciation based on who he's talking to.
Really?
Yeah, you can listen to different interviews and hear hints of various American accents, East Coast, West Coast, maybe even Southern American. When he spoke with Little Sims, some noticed a hint of a British or maybe Canadian lilt. It's subtle, but it's there.
Huh. So it's not locked into one specific sound.
Not really. And that hip-hop background we talk about, that gives him a really natural rhythm and flow. It helps his English sound very authentic, not stiff.
And he uses filler words like, very naturally, too.
Exactly. And his confidence helps avoid that sort of awkwardness some non-native speakers feel. Plus, his ability to translate in real time, that's incredibly difficult.
Especially between Korean and English, right?
Yeah.
The sentence structure is so different.
Massively different. It requires incredible mental agility. Someone, I think it was an English literature teacher, even praised his poetic English, his grasp of figurative language. That shows a really deep understanding beyond just chatting.
It really does. And while RM is clearly the lead on English, we are seeing the other members step up too, aren't we?
Oh, definitely. It's not just RM carrying the load anymore, though he still does a lot. J-Hope, Yoongi, Jungkook, they're all clearly studying hard and making huge progress. You hear them using more than just the basic rehearsed phrases now.
Yeah, I remember Jungkook saying he set himself a goal, like 2 years, to speak English more like RM.
Exactly. And J-Hope's been seen with English books studying for the TOEFL, I think. Yoongi's also mentioned he's actively learning.
That group dedication is pretty impressive.
It really is. Led by RM's example, for sure, but their collective effort is what makes their global reach possible, really. It's remarkable.
So wrapping this up then, when we look at the whole picture, RM's English fluency isn't just one thing. It's this amazing tapestry, right?
That's a great way to put it.
Woven from school, yes, but also friends used really strategically that hip-hop influence, his own intelligence, studying in New Zealand, and just this relentless ongoing commitment to practicing and maintaining it. It's way more complex, way more deliberate than just, oh, he learned it from TV.
Yeah.
It really paints a picture of how he achieved that mastery.
Absolutely. And his journey really shows us, I think, that mastering anything complex, especially language, it's not about finding some secret trick or shortcut.
Right.
It's about combining different methods, staying incredibly consistent, and just accepting that learning is, well, a lifelong thing.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
RM's willingness to keep learning, keep adapting, even when he's already so good. It kind of poses a question for all of us.
Like what?
Like, what skill are you maybe holding back on? Maybe waiting for the easy way or the perfect method, when actually maybe blending different approaches, putting in consistent effort.
Yeah.
That might be the real way to have your own chameleon effect moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.